Thank you. I'm going to use the lectern because it makes me feel important, and we often don't get to have lecterns when reading poetry. It's a great pleasure to be here this evening. Also, it's great that you're above me because you get it. Okay. I think Minds at Work's a great initiative, and I'm really pleased to be here. It's such an important thing at this particular time. I used to work in corporate responsibility 20 years ago, and there was none of this. I used to go into organisations, and really the only thing that was there was investors in people, which was a good initiative, but some people used to call it investors in paper, which was problematic. It's also wonderful to be here in such a big audience. In the poetry world, if you're in front of an audience of 10 people, you think you're a celebrity. So to be here with all you guys, it's just brilliant. On that note, I want to start with an anonymous opinion poll. I would like you to all close your eyes and tell me if you've ever been to more than one poetry reading in your life. One caveat. It isn't to do with one of these events, and you couldn't have gone there because your partner told you to, or hopefully your partner to be invited you to it. So could you put your hands up? Okay, that's pleasantly surprising. I'd say about a third, so thank you. It's good to know what you're up against. My first poem is about male depression, and I'll get right to it. It's called What Men Say to Each Other About Their Depression. Okay, you got it. That's the shortest poem I've ever written. So this poem's actually got words in it, which is really helpful if you're a poet. This poem is about men, because as many of you already know, for men dealing with depression, they keep it in. Men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women. 12 men a day in the UK. It's an epidemic. So this poem is called For Most Men It Goes Without Saying, and it's after the Gil Scott-Heron song, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. You will not see ours in HD, 3D, pixelated widescreen TV. We will not be in any extra-large Big Kahuna Burger bundle box set of YouTube views, Facebook likes, nor Instagrammatical errors. Ours will not be televised. Ours will not be brought to you in diagnosable format. It will be no GIF, JPEG or HTML touchscreen experience. Ours will not show up in any BAFTA-nominated costume drama with Stephen Fry and Ruby Wax. We will not man up, man down, man turn around by any 0300 24-hour helpline. Ours will not go better with rum and coke, smack or toke. We may get fat, lose weight, man size, have an appetite for a 3-course sex drive, but ours will not be televised. There will be no pictures of ours in tattoo magazines or on the cover of any 6-pack of amitriptyline. Ours is not the finest, smartest, taste the difference range. We are proper essential, mate. We will not give Jeremy Kyle a smile with daytime DNA claims. We will not be seen crying on your carpet nor begging on our knees for forgiveness. Ours will not be televised. It will not be exposed, taken out of context, misquoted or overblown. It will not take kindly to pot-picking pundits, poll pollsters, nor lay people on the ground. Ours will not be back after the break. There will be no repeats, there will be no catch-up, nor on demand. There will be no highlights. No, sir, because our depression is live. A few weeks ago, I was meant to go on the Annika Rice show to promote my book. I couldn't do it. The anxiety in me was so much that for some reason, as much as I love Annika, I could not do it, so I gave up. On Saturday, I was due to read in Hay on why, and I woke up and I said to my wife, I can't do it. It's a 6-hour round trip in the car. I've got to meet all these new people. It's really hot. I just can't do it. And then she said to me, you do remember that I've invited my mum and dad round for the day? Now, I love my in-laws, don't get me wrong. But the thought of sitting there, having given up going to and being depressed around them, got me on the motorway and got me reading in Hay on Wye. So this has been the case all of my life. Whether I was doing a seminar at the World Bank or doing a workshop in a small community centre, I've been physically sick all over the world. And yes, I do have a poem about anxiety vomiting, which you'll be glad to hear I won't be sharing with you tonight. This was at a time when my physical health wasn't as bad as it is now. And the poem I'm about to read is one I think I should keep in my wallet, either for a paramedic or a priest. It's called There Are Charities for All of My Unequal Parts. Part 1, from the neck down. Low vitamin D requires 20 mcg per dm. To dissuade potential crumbling, please handle me sunny side up. Low testosterone is corrected with a rear view injection of libido, sending the already overachieving libido off the scale. A collusive beard mentors hairy areas in how to tuft across once barren land. I never used to be able to grow a beard. And then I get these testosterone injections and all of a sudden you might as well make some good out of it. Stubborn lungs lay down tools refusing to take part in the must-try hard art of breathing. Sorry. Relief is green and brown, often blue. A redundant thyroid requires chemical thyroxine, AM, PM till the end. Cancellation of fight or flight means I'm more dry dock than speedboat with cortisol. The pituitary, an unreliable narrator, the body's regulator, hands in its notice, causing a hot flush of mental pauses that soak the body like the tears of an actor in between jobs. The dark overlord of it all, friendly fire autoimmunity, is the wandering serial killer of a stuck-in-the-headlights system of glands hiding in the bushes of biological ignorance. Part 2, thus from the neck up. I fill out CBT's questionnaire in A minor. I look at words I don't want to know the meaning of. When letters begin spinning like a neurotic Nickelodeon, I start whistling anti-clockwise. Weights and measures of the mind convert to acronyms, making my life difficult to spell. My ears swim with violins. The sound of piano keys aches my bones. I live to a soundtrack of not keeping up. Crushed in the arms of serotonin inhibition, I am expected to come away from a meeting, not to go back. Was I okay? At what, I don't know. Were you puzzled by what I said, or the fact that I returned? I drift in and out like a lost stagehand. Can I not just tell you I have an aversion to the orders of syntax, with little interest in staying asleep or being depressed all the time, only to let my family down from a height I haven't the legs to jump from. Part 3, Ecology. This body is a computerised diktat of eternal wormholing by diabetistic endos, furrowed psychs and surface cleaning GPs, who gaze into this body through the parallax lines of a close try. This body is a stock exchange of wrong turns that burns from the acid of hope's empty stomach. Can you not see it? Thank you. As Owen, it is Owen, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought, panic. Sorry. As Owen said, being a parent and being depressed is a very difficult thing because your normal reaction is to have the poker face. Now, this was compounded by the fact that my 14-year-old son at the time, he's now 19, told me in the car when I was taking him to piano lesson that he was depressed, he was feeling down, and then he rolled up his sleeve and he had a Morse code of cuts from his elbow to his wrist. And you just don't know what to do, especially for a teenager. So this poem is about one particular night when he was switching his antidepressant medication and couldn't stop thinking about suicide. Night Watchman. Bed by midnight, I set my alarm for 2 a.m. At its sound, I pad to my son's room. The floor is a rubble of clothes, guitar leads, a trophy cabinet of sticky bowls, residue in a corner. In bed, he holds the glow of his screen, perched in fear of the grave hymns that sing in his dreams. He says he's okay without shifting. I fail by saying, try to get some sleep. I retreat to my bed and risk an hour. At 3, he's still glowing, says he tried. I know. Best rise for a time. I wipe last night's words from the kitchen table. We eat cereal to silence, see if that works. It's being tested with everything else outside the covers of a book. Back in bed, he turns to the wall. Now I stay, see him to sleep. At the inhale of day, the sun cracks its knuckles behind the curtains. Come on then, I say. Thank you. Rousseau said that at 16 years old, the adolescence knows about suffering because they themselves have suffered, but they barely know that others suffer too. Well, he's 19 now, as I say, and he knows both of those things. And I'm glad to say he's well now, and he's working at Timpson's. So if anyone wants their keys cut or shoes mended, give me a call afterwards. I want to say a little bit about creative writing and how it's helped me. A lot of the problem with writing is that it's only done for learning purposes. That we write at school. All writing, they still write with pens at school. My younger son is left-handed, he has Tourette's, he finds it very difficult to settle, and yet he has to write. There is support, but he does that. So we're not taught to keep on writing when we leave school. So this is a great initiative, and it's about sharing stories. But I wonder about how many people also write about them. Because there is no, or hasn't been until now, a platform for writing. Now, when I was thinking about this, I realised for the first time in human history, nearly all of the world is writing. They're offering their opinions on Boris, Brexit or Bake Off. And they're all there. Now, for some reason, with this polyphony of noise going on, we seem to come down with this for and against idea of what is good and bad. But if we were able to use that platform for people to share their stories as well as to speak, I think that would be a great deal complement to what happens when people actually talk as well. So when I'm thinking in a non-productive way, like for example about coming here tonight and thinking, oh my God, I have no way I can do this. I write. So I wrote what I was going to say. And just by writing what I was going to say and saying to myself, don't get all Donald Trump and go off script, this is it. You're going to be all right. It helped. It alleviated. I said, right, I know what I'm going to say. They don't like it. There's nothing else I can do. I've committed myself now. Stephen King says he writes novels to see what the ending will be. So he has a premise. A famous author's driving through the country and crashes, breaks his leg, and one of his biggest fans saves him, brings him back to her house, and then he goes from there. And we have Misery. Well, that's the name of the prototype of the book. Just in case you were thinking it was a bad story. It's your subconscious that you're only able to articulate by writing or by sharing or having dialogue. You must have had a conversation where halfway through you thought, oh, I didn't realise I thought that. But by being in dialogue, whether it's Socratic, whatever they call it, helps you to download what's all going around in your head. And I think writing can help with that as well. Then finally on mental health, I think there are two problems, I think. I think one, we start with the premise that everybody's healthy. So we go up to someone and think, oh, they're healthy. And unless they exhibit something that says, oh, good blimey, possibly we should do it the other way around. Address everybody as say, there's something going on there. I'll just wait my way and talk and all that. Because we've all got problems, whether it's defined as depression or not. Stress, the cortisol, I know a lot about it because I produce it, is one that drives us forward, and it's a good and it's a bad thing. And then secondly, separating mental health from physical health is really problematic because the two go together. Physical health can prompt mental ill health and vice versa. And so we need to think about how it affects the body as well as the mind. I want to leave you with a poem about my experience of taking the antidepressant sertraline. Now, as I understood sertraline, it helps with anxiety and depression, but I also was told it would help with OCD. Well, I didn't have OCD. But when I took sertraline, somehow or other I got OCD. And I got earworms as well. I couldn't stop hearing things, people's sentences, and particularly music. So this poem is called Sertraline Earworms. Today I am being asked if I know the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the one who lives down Drury Lane. I keep telling myself I do, I know the Muffin Man, and if I find him I will eat him. My earworm comes in many genres. Punk, reggae, dubstep, grime, I don't mind. But it's pop's incessant water torture of withdrawal. From Ed Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud come guitar loop taps, causing brain zaps that pinball off the walls of my disorder. Minding my own, a drive-by sample of Britney Spears hits me, baby, much, much more than one more time. Passing Topshop, take that, want me back. They want me back. They want me back for good. My wife sings, oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know that something wasn't right here? I can see that she wasn't, as I try to keep this swirling wildfire DJ under control. But a moment of OCD weakness sees me ask her if she knows the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. To which she replies, the one who lives down Drury Lane. And oh, so baby, baby, it won't stop, even when she's not there, even when there was nothing left to hear. So before I leave you, I want one more bit of audience participation. I'm going to ask you a question. And at this time, I want you to all answer together. Who's in? Well, you've got no choice. So I'll ask the question, and then I want you as a group out loud to tell me the answer. Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man that lives on Drury Lane? Yes, we know. No. Can't be doing it. This isn't panto. Okay. Who lives down Drury Lane? Yes, we know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. Yes, we know the Muffin Man who lives down Drury Lane. That earworm is my gift to you. The novelist James Salter said, there comes a time when you realise that everything is a dream, and only those things preserved in writing have any possibility of being real. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. Yes, I know the Muffin